Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review, and next up is the Hasbro G.I. Joe Classified Series Wave 3 number 23 Zartan. Today was a crazy day. My buddy Spawn XD209 sent me a message saying that he found some new G.I. Joe figures at his local Walgreens. So naturally, of course, first chance I went to my local Walgreens, and lo and behold, they had Zartan. They had the Cobra Infantry figure, which is the number 24. A different Walgreens in town also got the new colorway Redeco Scarlet and the new Redeco Roadblock. So all four figures from Wave 3. When it was first announced, we just thought these would be simple repacks, but they are repainted. Duke repaint is coming in revised cases of Wave 1 that are shipping out. Amazon lost my order. I ordered 2 of them. Amazon lost them, so I don't know what's going on. So hopefully I will have that soon. I put in another order. We'll see what happens. But here is Zartan. Looking at the artwork, looks pretty good. There on the side, we get that nice shot with the mask as well that he has on there. Interesting thing that on the artwork he has green eyes, but the figure I think he has blue eyes. So we'll have to take a look at that. There are the insignias for Zartan there on the side, number 23. Looking at the back of the package, and this is actually a different back. So all the figures had that same artwork on the back. So looking at it, this one is updated, so you can see a couple of new things that are on here. It looks like the big change is Beachhead is added. The Cobra Vipers are added there. We also get Firefly added in and Zartan. So other than that, Baroness is the same, Destro is the same. A lot of the other ones are the same. So just slightly different. Not a whole lot going on. But anyway, let's get to it and open Zartan up. Check out that insert. We get that nice logo for the Dreadnoks right there. So that looks really cool. Okay, so here is the Zartan figure out of the package, and the really cool thing is he has storage for all of the different accessories that he comes with, so you can actually place some things on his belt here. It's got a sheath for his knife. The gun pistol actually ports onto the backpack or mask making machine or whatever it would be, and then the mask of course actually stores into that backpack. So without further ado, let's take a closer look at the accessories, take a closer look at Zartan, and check out his articulation. Okay, so let's look at the accessories with Zartan. So here, and these can store right onto his belt. We get a couple of things. So it just ports and pegs onto the belt. There's a little hole there. This looks to be like some kind of animal or monkey hand type of deal. It's just done in all brown plastic. There, we get this snake head. And same thing, it pegs onto the belt. A little bit of paint in this one. We get a little bit of pink inside for the mouth. As you can see there, little snake head. So that is pretty cool. We have a sheath there as part of his belt. So we have a knife, and it ports in there nicely. And you can see there's some serrated edge to that blade. And it's just done all in black plastic. Looks good enough. Then here you can see his pistol actually stores onto the side of the backpack. There's 2 pegs actually on the side. One on the right, one on the left. And then through the trigger hole, you can actually just port that gun on whichever side you prefer. Taking a better look at the gun, you can see there, it's just done in all black plastic. Looks a little futuristic, but it works. His backpack pegs right onto his back, as you can see there. And then this opens up. So there, it stores the mask that he has. It's a little bit of red paint in there, and then on the inside, right here and right there, there's a little bit of red paint. So this is kind of, I guess, you know, a little mechanism or machine that actually creates these masks for his disguises. So this one, we could just pull that out. It's a thin plastic. You can see his face will fit in there. It's sculpted nicely. We get a face, no details on the eyes, just white, all white, and then some brown facial hair. So we'll take a look at that, but that's pretty cool that it stores on in there. And then this, you know, the shape of this really reminds me of a coffin. So it's interesting, but again, ports right on there. So accessory storage on the entire figure. So that's really cool. Now let's take a closer look at Zartan. Okay, so taking a closer look at Zartan, we have this hood and scarf combination there. You can actually just remove it. It just rests on top of there, and you can reveal his bald head. And then the scarf portion, just kind of pull it off of his neck. there. So there it is, Zartan. It's sculpted nicely. We get some good black paint in there. Looking at his eyes though, it's really hard to tell, but they're more of a blue color and not a green color like the package art shows for Zartan. So it looks like blue. So maybe those beachhead blue-eyed versus brown eyes, you know, that running theory that it was Zartan in disguise. It could work for you if that's what you wanted to do. But looking at the rest of it, we get some nice sculpted pieces for the like this armor shoulder pad piece, some blacks, some dark grays, and some browns in there. So they didn't really skip out on the paint apps too much. Not that there's a whole lot, and they're all kind of muted colors, but it's all applied pretty nicely. Like we get this brown strap up underneath there, a couple of different colors, even on the back. So that's good. Soft rubber material, so like the shoulder pad can move up easily. That's not going to get in the way in terms of like the articulation or anything like that. Get these arm bands there that's just painted black on the figure. We get these gauntlet pads. They're all black. His gloves, all black. We don't get any interchangeable hands with this guy. There, looking at his belt buckle, that looks really cool there. Nicely detailed. We get that Dreadnoks logo there. That is actually really cool. Like the way that looks. And the belt, the loops actually get the brown, the same color as pants, so a little bit of detail in there. The sheath, as you can see there, some black added in for like the padding and armor and the straps and things like that. We get like the thigh guards, knee pads, shin guards into the boots. So it looks really good. I actually really like it without the hood because you could see his face a lot more, but you know, you could always put the handkerchief scarf piece back on, just put the hood back on, it just rests on there, and you can have you know, the classic look for Zartan. Looking at the hood, we get kind of a snake skin pattern on it. That is pretty cool, but I do want to show you guys the mask that he comes with. So you can actually just rest it right over his face. And so like if you're looking at it straight on, the head looks big, especially compared to the neck. But let's say you put the hood on and you wouldn't even notice. It really hides it and blends it in well. But then it wouldn't be that great of a disguise because you know that, hey, that's what Zartan is wearing. So that must be Zartan. So it's one of those things. It's not a real practical use when actually putting it onto the figure. It looks better, you know, when it's inside the backpack. But it does work and fit on his face. So that is pretty cool. So let's zoom out for the articulation. Okay, so let's go over Zartan's articulation. So the head is on a ball hinge, so you can get him to look down that much. You can get him to look up quite far as well. And then the neck itself has its own point of articulation on a ball joint. So you get some circular motion going on in there, and then you can hinge it forward a little bit and down. You can go back a little bit. You can pivot to the side some and whatnot. So you can get all kinds of good facial expressions with the turn of the head kind of thing. So the shoulders, you can get the arm to go up that high. So straight out, you can get a full rotation. That shoulder pad's going to move around, so it's really not going to get in the way. There is a butterfly joint in there, so you can see you can get the arm to come forward that much. You can get the arm to go back that much. It's not a whole lot of range of motion, but it is nice that we continue on with the butterfly joints for each of the figures. You have an upper bicep swivel. You get a double jointed elbow, and you can see that they're all pinless joints on this guy. So double jointed elbow, which gives you that much bend, which is good. Wrists swivel, and they do hinge. This one has the vertical hinge, which is the roll of the dice motion on the left and the right, so both have the same hinge. We have an ab crunch on the figure, so just ab crunch alone, you can crunch forward that much. Going back, you can go that far back, and then we have that waist ball joint, so you can pivot. So he doesn't really want to pivot a whole lot, but you can get some out of there. But coming forward with that waist ball and the ab crunch actually doesn't really change it. So that waist doesn't really want to go forward. It goes back quite a bit though, which is great. But getting it to come forward, not really doing a whole lot. And then the side to side tilt really isn't a whole lot, but you do get that turn a little bit, and it just kind of wants to revert back. But you do get some of that turn in there. You just kind of have to force it a little bit, but the way it sits in that belt is so tight that it wants to kind of swing it right back to its original position. Legs go out that far apart, but of course we have the drop down legs, so if you drop the legs down, then you can do a full splits, as you can see. So coming forward, you can kick straight up when you have the drop down. If you don't do the drop down, you can kick forward that much. There is an upper thigh cut in there. You have a double jointed knee like so, and they are pinless as well. There is a boot swivel there. Foot hinges down. Not really a whole lot of hinge up because we're going to be hitting that shin guard there. And then, of course, ankle pivot and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So standard articulation that we get, but he does seem a little bit limited when it comes to that waist ball and the butterfly joints, but he looks pretty good. Okay, and here for a quick size comparison, we have Zartan in the middle. To his right, we have the Cobra Commander Regal variant. And to his left, we have Destro. So there are the three of them side by side. Okay, so my final thoughts on the Zartan figure. It is really good. One thing I forgot to mention earlier also is that the packaging actually has the Dreadnoks logo. It does not have the Cobra logo up at the top on it, so that is actually a nice kind of differentiating thing between all of the villains for the G.I. Joe classified line, which is pretty cool. The Zartan figure looks really good. I think, if anything, maybe his torso looks a little narrow. But it functions well and looks really good. The mask is a cool concept. Now, if his skin changed color, that would be awesome. I find it odd that, you know, Hasbro was able to do it in the 80s, but can't figure it out now. That is kind of an odd thing, and why they didn't do that. Maybe they're saving that for like a Comic-Con exclusive or some kind of major exclusive down the line. These are the typical things that Hasbro does, so when everyone gets mad at all these different repaints, expect them. They're going to happen. Why people act surprised is beyond me. This is what they do. You think they're only going to make one Zartan figure? No, they're going to make more. Guaranteed. And I'm sure one of them will be a color changing plastic to represent how he can change the color of his skin tone at any given point. So it'd be pretty cool. But for now, this Zartan is very good. It is a nice addition to the G.I. Joe classified line when it feels like we haven't gotten a new figure in such a long time. So Walgreens, they're hitting now. GameStop, I think in some cases they may be shipping out soon for those that pre-ordered. I think the Target pre-order street date, release date, or whatever the hell they're going to call it, is supposed to be right around the corner as well. So I think these figures hopefully will be available in abundance, but we shall see. So hopefully you guys are able to get it. So if you guys like this video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, thank you for watching.